The past is not gone. It breathes within us, shaping our world, our choices, and the very rhythm of our lives. The victories we claim, the freedoms we cherish, and even the challenges we face today are all strands of a story that began long before we arrived. When we ignore those strands or pretend they never existed, the tapestry of who we are begins to tear apart. Every nation, every community, every lineage holds memories of endurance, of struggle, of heartbreak, and of triumph. For those who lived through the age of slavery, their experiences are not faint echoes lost in time. They are the very roots from which our present has grown. Their chains were more than metal. They were rules, institutions, and beliefs built to silence and subdue the human soul. Yet even under the heaviest oppression, voices rose to speak truth, hands reached for freedom, and hearts refused to be broken. We must remember this, because to forget the past is to walk blindly into its mistakes. The courage of those who came before us is not something to admire from a distance. It is a torch we are meant to carry forward. The ground we stand on has been soaked in tears and blood, but also in faith and hope. The hope that the generations to come would live freer, dream bigger, and rise higher than those before. That generation is us. So when we speak the names of those who resisted, when we tell their stories of defiance, belief, and sacrifice, we do more than recall history. We keep its heartbeat alive. We remind ourselves that freedom is delicate, that justice is a struggle renewed by each era, and that the choices made long ago still shape the world we live in today. They echo in our speech, they move through our actions, and they strengthen our resolve never to live in chains again. This is why the story of Nat Turner, and countless others like him, endures. It is not just about where we have been. It is about who we are, where we stand, and how we will guide those who come after us. Opening hook. Imagine being born into slavery, forbidden to read or write, and yet rising to become one of the most powerful voices for freedom in American history. This is the story of Frederick Douglass, a man who transformed his life, and in doing so, transformed a nation. Part 1. Early life. Frederick Douglass was born in February 1818 in Talbot County, Maryland. His exact birth date was unknown, a reality for many enslaved people whose lives were treated as property, not humanity. Separated from his mother at an early age, Douglass was raised by his grandmother. He rarely saw his mother and never knew his father. From the beginning, his life was marked by hardship, but also by resilience. Part 2. The spark of education. At the age of 12, Douglass experienced a turning point. His master's wife began teaching him the alphabet. But once her husband forbade it, saying, "If you teach that boy to read, he'll want to be free," Douglass realized something powerful. Literacy was the pathway to liberation. From then on, he taught himself to read and write in secret, trading food with poor white children in exchange for lessons, studying discarded newspapers, and practicing with chalk on fences and walls. Part 3. Escape to freedom. Narrator. But knowledge came with pain. Douglass became increasingly aware of his condition and refused to accept it quietly. After several failed attempts, he finally escaped slavery in 1838, disguised as a sailor. He fled north to New York City, a free man at just 20 years old. There, he married Anna Murray, a free black woman who had helped finance his escape. Together, they began building a new life. Part 4. Rise of a leader. Freedom was only the beginning. Douglass quickly became a leading voice in the abolitionist movement. His oratory skills were so powerful that audiences often doubted he had ever been enslaved. To silence skeptics, Douglass wrote his autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, published in 1845. The book was a sensation, exposing the brutal realities of slavery and fueling the abolitionist cause both in the United States and abroad. Douglass didn't stop there. He founded his own newspapers, including the North Star, and spoke tirelessly against slavery, racism, and injustice. Part 5. The Orator and Thinker. Douglass was more than a witness. He was a thinker. He challenged America to live up to its ideals. In his famous 1852 speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?" he delivered a searing critique of a nation celebrating freedom while millions remained enslaved. His words were not just about slavery. They were about justice, equality, and the meaning of democracy. Part 6. Legacy and Later Life. Narrator. After the Civil War, Douglass continued to fight for equality, advocating for voting rights, women's rights, and civil rights for all. He held government positions, including U.S. Marshal for the District of Columbia and Minister to Haiti. Frederick Douglass died in 1895, but his voice still echoes today, a reminder that the struggle for freedom and equality is ongoing. Closing. Frederick Douglass once said, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress." His life was a testament to that truth, a journey from bondage to brilliance, from silence to a voice that still inspires the world. Thumbs up, hit that like button if you're ready to journey through history. Speech balloon, drop a comment saying, "I ride with Slat Tales in 2025" to lock in with the community. Bell, and make sure you subscribe to Slat Tales for weekly legendary breakdowns. No hype, no shortcuts, just real tales that shaped the world.